I have been getting all these recommendations about Jimmy Butler on social media, and I was wondering why at first was I getting so many of these recommendations about Jimmy Butler, but now it makes sense that Golden State will be playing the Miami Heat at 7:30 Eastern Time today, as I should say, since it's already Tuesday. And it made me think about just Jimmy Butler's legacy when it came to the Miami Heat. But before I just discuss his legacy, I wanted to read out a few quotes he said about this upcoming matchup with his former team. So here it goes. Will I watch? Butler said when asked about the potential of a Heat tribute video after the Warriors held practice at Barry University on Monday afternoon in Miami Shores. He said, "Yeah, I'll watch if they have one. If they don't, it makes no difference. It really doesn't." And he also had a message for some of the Heat fans that may boo him or are the Heat fans that are now haters that are against him. Here's what he wanted to say. I wonder if they look at the Heat the same way. It ain't like I was the one who was doing everything. It's got to be 50-50, maybe 51-49, 49 towards them, 51 towards me. But there's no way that I was the cause of all of this. Interesting words, I would say. I'm just going to just read another quote I found interesting if I can find it here. Yes. So here's another quote I'm just going to read out from him. This is basketball. This is very simple. Butler set up facing his former team. I don't have all the emotions that everybody thinks I'm going to have. Like, it is what it is. I realized that I had some great years here, and I have built some incredible bonds with some individuals in the organization, in the city, in the state of Florida. So that's one thing he said. I'm going to read the final quote. But I'm going there to hoop. I'm going there to play basketball. Ain't nothing nobody says, nothing nobody does that's going to get me out of character. Nobody got me out of character when I was going through what I was going through this entire season with the suspensions. It's just another day for me. Just judging by these quotes, it seems like Jimmy is kind of over his former team and he's done with them. Doesn't really have much nostalgia when it comes to playing for Miami. This is how you can tell this breakup was needed for both sides, that he wanted out, they didn't want him anymore. What it really comes down to, I felt, was Jimmy was upset about not getting an extension offer from them, and he took it out on them. That's what it really was about, mainly, just him being upset about that. I feel like a lot of drama for most grown men, it usually comes down to two things. It's either going to be money or a woman. Those are the two things that causes drama among grown men. And in sports, it's usually money. Sometimes it can be women, but I would say in this case, it's obvious it was money that caused a wedge between Jimmy and the franchise. And once he could not get that cash, he was angry at Pat Riley and the rest of the Miami Heat organization. I never thought he deserved an extension. Jimmy Butler is not a young spring chicken anymore. This guy is, I think, 35 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he turned 35 back in September of 2024, so just several months ago. He's not a young guy. I definitely would not have given him an extension if I was Riley, so I don't blame them for not giving it to him. He took out his anger on them. But with all that being said, it seems like I said, Jimmy is done with them. He doesn't care about them anymore. He has really no feelings for them. And I definitely believe he wants to get the win to just rub salt in the wounds against his former team. Now, with that being said, it made me think where does Jimmy rank legacy wise among Miami Heat players? And I thought about this deeply. I would say, obviously, you're gonna rank LeBron number one when it comes to greatest Heat player of all time. I know he wasn't there for his whole entire career, but that 4-year stint he was there, he got them to 4 NBA Finals, won 2 league MVPs, 2 championships there, 2 finals MVPs. I have to rank him number 1. So LeBron is number 1. After LeBron, I'm going to rank Dwayne Wade number 2 because of just what he did in 2006. He was the best player on that 2006 Miami Heat championship team, the first Miami Heat championship in franchise history. He led them, so that gets him the number 2 spot in my eyes. He's like the second greatest Miami Heat player of all time. After that, that's when the list gets very interesting and I think very tough because this is like really hard, but I'm going to put Alonzo Mourning number 3 all time for greatest Miami Heat player of all time. Sure, he never led them to a championship as the best player, but he had some great prime years with them during the mid to late 90s. I felt he had some great seasons with them. He was Defensive Player of the Year, I think at least once or twice while he was with Miami. And he had like a 1 or 2 MVP caliber years for them there. Just he was really good for like the second half of the 90s for the Miami Heat. So I'm going to put him 3rd. He edges out Shaq barely in my eyes because Shaq wasn't there long enough. Granted, he played a huge role in their first championship team, but I felt on the first title team, he was past his prime. And, he got carried by Wade in that finals. So it's like Lonzo edges him out to me because Lonzo's best years with Miami was better than Shaq's best years. Granted, he didn't win a championship as a man, but he played a huge role in that '06 team coming off the bench, especially in that 2006 finals. To me, he was better than Shaq in that finals. He saved their season. So all these little things gives him the edge at number 3 in my eyes. And then I have Shaq at number 4 because he had an MVP-like season his first year with Miami, which was a great season. He got them to the conference finals his first year with them. Second year with them, he was their second best player. They got to the finals and they won the whole entire thing. So I put him at 4, even though he was right at the end of his prime during his first season in Miami, and then the second season he was past his prime. I still rank that Shaq ahead of Jimmy Butler just because, again, that 2005 Shaq, I think he would take over any version of Jimmy Butler. At least the first year he was in Miami, I felt that was like the last year of his prime. His first year, he played like MVP. So I take that '05 Shaq over any version of Jimmy Butler. And then I have Jimmy Butler at number 5 all time as when it comes to Miami Heat players, which is not bad. He's the 5th greatest Miami Heat player of all time. And he had a great run with Miami. He was able to lead them to 2 NBA finals. Granted, I didn't respect the bubble run, but hey, I got to give him the 2023 run. That was legit. To be honest, I felt the 22-23 season was really the best season of his career when you look at his numbers. 22.9 points per game, second highest points per game average in his career. The only season he scored more was when he had 23.9 points per game with the Bulls. But I felt the season with Miami was better than that Bulls season because his field goal percentage was the highest it's ever been in his career. 53% overall from the field, which was pretty high. 5.9 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.8 steals. Just, he was amazing that year. Just, it was a great season. He got them back to the NBA Finals. Obviously, he wasn't able to beat the Denver Nuggets, but when I look at his legacy, I definitely think he's the 5th greatest Miami Heat player of all time. So he has something to be proud of. Just leading them to 2 NBA Finals, that's quite the achievement. Granted, he wasn't able to win the big thing, but I thought he gave Miami their money's worth for the most part. You could say up until this season when he started feuding with them. But I don't have anything else to say about him other than that the matchup against his former team will be spicy. I think it'll be somewhat entertaining, but I have this is tough I have Miami winning this game. Not Miami winning this game. I think Golden State will win this game. So I'm going to go with the Warriors. That Jimmy will get revenge on his former team. And yeah, that's how I feel it's going to go down.